Okay, let's start with your dad. What was his full name?
Raymond Orson Andrus.
And do you know what year he was born? If you don't, we can find all that out later.
Yeah, I could call my sister Carol. She's got all that genealogy.
Where was he born?
Well, he was born right over here on the corner of 48th South and Holiday Boulevard in the old Andrus. The old Andrus Farms was right in that southwest corner of that intersection. That's where the old home was at. And he owned, my grandfather owned, oh, imagine there was a half acre there. That's where he was born. He was the second one in the family.
How many were there in his family?
Well, there was my Uncle Lloyd, he was the oldest. And then there was Dad. And then there was a lady, Vern, she married the both of us. And then they had another sister, Bertha, that married the coach that was down at Granite, Southern. And then there was a brother, Mervyn. And then another brother, Owen. And then my aunt, the only one that's living, is the aunt that's up in Meridian, Idaho, Ruby. And then in there somewhere there was a Lyle, Aunt Lyle, but she died of pneumonia. She looked very old. And then Ferris was the youngest one.
What did his dad do?
Well, my grandfather ran a freight liner, making little cottonwood candy. Had horses. Well, he had a whole bunch of horses in there, a real stable down in that little corner there. And he ran a freight line into Alden and into Brighton Bowl, just right out of that yard there. They put 6 head of horses and 8 head of horses on those Conestoga wagons and headed up the canyon on the dirt road.
Do you remember any stories he told about him? Your dad told about him growing up? Or?
Well, I don't remember too many about him when he was growing up.
Did he go to high school? Or
No,
school at all?
No. Oh yeah, he went through the elementary school.
And then what did he do?
The old Irving school. Well, he was quite mechanical in lots of ways, because when he was 19 years old, he was the head mechanic in a mine up in Solitude Gulch, where that ski area is now. He was only 19 then. He was a master mechanic. And then when he and my mother were married, they lived up there in tents. And my mother's oldest sister, who was Aunt May, was married to Tom Fryer, and they lived up there too. I have some old pictures somewhere of them up there. And then when he moved back down into town here, I guess, that's when he went to work for this Baldwin Radio. It was up there on Evergreen Avenue and 25th East. He was one of the first men that Baldwin put to work.
What did he do?
He was just they was building radios in 1917. Walt, he had a patent. Baldwin did. He got a patent on these little headsets, and they was using them in World War One.
Oh,
that's one like I've got downstairs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's what they were making, and then they started making radios. We had the first radio that Dad brought home from there was a little tiny crystal. You put up a piece of baling wire across between the trees, and then hooked it down into this little set. And it's what they call a crystal set. And there was a little crystal on there. How you got the station, you had to nick that with your finger until it stations. And that's how, and then he had these headphones that you could plug in, like I've got downstairs, and then you could listen to the radio. That'd be along 1925, along through there, and before. And then finally he started building these big cabinet radios. We had one of those. Boy, they were good radios. And he worked there for quite a number of years, and then he went into the radio business over in Holiday, one radio deal they called the Holiday Radio. Did you ever know where Mary and I lived in that bombed out London apartment over on Bon Air? Well, it used to be, that's where this big radio factory was, and one time it got fire, and man, it burned everything. Then this Phillips family bought this area, and they made apartments out of it, and that's when Mary and I wound up over there. But I can remember when it burned. Dad was over there for a while before it burned down. And eventually the radio company that he was in over there became part of the RCA. They bought them out. They had a big deal over the plant over there in Sugar House. Just this side of 21st South on the west side of the road. They had a plant in there. And it was called the Utah Radio, and then the RCA bought all the patents out. And after that, Dad just did odd jobs around.
What was your mom's full name?
Jerry Llewellyn Christensen.
And when do you know when she was born?
No, yeah, I don't.
Was it here?
Oh yeah, she was born here in Holiday.
Tell us a little
Most
bit about
of them, you know, was born right in the house. That's where I was born right at home.
that.
Oh yeah, they had a midwife, a lady that lived down on 48th. Her name was Lewis, Mrs. Lewis. She'd come around and help all the women.
Tell a little bit about what you know of Grandma Carrie growing up. What kind of family she
Well,
had?
her dad had 9 acres over there right next to where we were. And he raised all kinds of fruit. And he raised some alfalfa, and he had pigs, and he had chickens. He had everything over there. And he was a janitor. My mother's dad was a janitor in the old urban school over there. When I started school, he was a janitor over there. And of course, Darrell and we started school in the first grade together. That's my mom's youngest sister. But she was the second one, I think, in the family. Aunt May was the oldest.
How many was in her family then?
And there was Aunt May and Mother, and Roger's mother, Ruth. Then there was a brother in there that died of pneumonia. And it was Frida. Well, there was Walter, another brother. So that's 4. And then there was Frida, Nona, Alice, and Darrell. So there was about 8 of them in the family. There would have been 9 if there wasn't a lived. And they're all deceased now, but Darrell and Nona still lives up in Auburn. But she's almost 90 years old.
Tell us a little bit about how they met each other, your mom and dad.
Well, they was both in the old Holiday Ward over there, and I guess they just met, being in school together.
Do you know how old they were when they got married?
Well, they were married in 1912. I think Dad was, as I recall, I think he was 24. And Mother was 22, something like that.
Is that about the average age of people getting married?
Yeah. And see, Uncle Roy, he married Roger's mother, Aunt Ruth.
Where did they first live?
We lived in a little house back where I was born. It was about a half a block east of the intersection of 23rd East and Holiday Boulevard, going east, you know. And that old house is still there. It's been remodeled a few times. And see, and then back then, all there was a big store on the corner. I've got pictures of that. And then there was probably one other house before we got to where we lived. And then across the street there was a house. And then there was an Okeson family lived above there. And that's about all the houses there was on that whole street. You got turned up there. And you just went on up there to hit the canal. Those roads didn't go on through there. And the road turned and went over and on up the hill. There weren't too many houses up in there. One old guy up there Howard owned all that land above where we lived. Where all the houses are now, and there's a church up there.
Did Grandma carry work, or did she?
No, she didn't work. She just stayed home and took care of the kids.
Now go through and name all your brothers and sisters.
Well, Don was the oldest.
Okay.
And then there was me, and Gwenny, and then Carol, and Bud, and Niall. And then Steve.
Okay.
Beverly. And Jerry. That made 9 of them.
Uh-huh.
That's the family.
Well, tell us a little bit about your family. What some of the things you did or you remember about when you were growing up.
When we lived right there on 48, some of the things I can remember when I don't think that I'd started, maybe I did go to school out of there, I can't remember. I probably did start the first grade when I lived right there. But one thing I can really remember, we had an old dog, his name was Max. And in those days, there was a lot of peddlers come around down the street, you know, selling Watkins products and shit. And there was one old guy that was a real pest, you know. I can remember Mother talking about it. But anyway, he never did come in much, but this dog was tied up on the front porch. And he never would come in as long as the dog was there. Because, boy, this old dog, he was a mean son of a...
What kind of dog was it?
Oh, he's just a old mongrel hound. Probably his dad picked up. He was a not too big dog. He's about average size. Anyway, after he died finally, so Mother just left the chain there. And this old boy came up the road and you could see this chain. He never did come in. He wouldn't come in unless he came in to find out where the dog was. Mother left the chain hanging. I'll never forget it. Then there was another old boy who used to come up the street there and he'd tease the dog. That dog had gone down that fence. I can see him yet. And so one day, Mother unlatched the gate. And this guy didn't know it. He was coming off the old streetcar. See, you used to end right over there in Albany. He'd got off the streetcar and he was going up the street to his house, which was quite a ways out. He came out there and he started teasing the dog, and he didn't know that gate was unlocked. That old dog went right through that gate and just took the whole seat out of his pants. And he was after Dad to buy him some new clothes and everything, you know. It was funny. Dad never did do it. Boy, that old dog, he never bothered him anymore. He used to go up the street, but he'd go over the other side because he wasn't sure that gate was open. We used to get a kick out of it. But Don, every Christmas, there was an Otis Nielsen that lived up in there. And He'd dress up in a Santa Claus suit, and you talk about Santa Claus, boy, he really looked like. And he had a big sack of stuff over his shoulder. He packed a bunch of toys and stuff. And he'd come in there. I can remember this one time, especially he'd come through the door. It's the only time I can remember Santa Claus coming in there. But old Don, he took a dive behind the rocking chair. He was scared to death. So Santa Claus, of course, was asking us what we wanted for Christmas. Don says, "You tell him, Kirk." He was head out. I could see him. He had the head out down behind the rocking chair. And then we moved up on Valley View up there when Dad bought that place. It was 4¼ acres of ground there and an old log house we moved into, just 2 rooms. And Dad built a kitchen on one end of it. And then when he got ready to build the house, of course, this was sitting right where he wanted to build his house. So he just put some skids under it and towed it down in the field. It sat down there. That's where we lived while he built the house. And then we still had that old granary, even after we called it the granary. We made a place out of this old log house to store squash and stuff in for. We used to feed the cows with squash. We raised them with squash. We couldn't eat any of it. So we cut it up for the cow. Boy, she loved it. It was good cow. It was quite a place. Dad grubbed that out of nothing. The water wouldn't run anywhere there. He built irrigation ditches. Oh, I used to love it. It was sure a beautiful place to raise some kids. We had a whole 4¼ acres of ground that we roamed on. Mm-hmm. We had chickens, nice chicken coop. We raised pigs. Had a nice cow barn. Of course, you had to buy all of your own hay, but we had a nice pasture for the cow.
Did your family do a lot of things together?
Oh, yeah. We'd ever on every one of my birthdays, we'd have a big bonfire and a weenie roast, and they'd get every kid in the neighborhood. 25, 30 kids. Well, on that big place up there, we had a big lawn. We've had as high as 25 kids there playing football on Saturday afternoon. And then when we'd have the big family parties, the Sutherlands and the Beaucharts and the Andruses and the Christensens all come up there. We used to, they'd make 8, 9 quarts, 8-quart freezers full of ice cream. And boy, they'd eat every bit of it. There'd be a couple of freezers full of pineapple sherbet. And boy, when that party was over, it was all gone. We'd celebrate on the 4th of July, on Thanksgiving. Everybody come up there. Dad never did finish the living room in that house. So we'd spread this big table down through there, and we'd have a feast. Boy, talk about groceries. That grandmother of mine, mother's mother, oh, she was a good cook. Well, so was my grandmother Andrus. Dawn and I used to go down there all the time. She'd have cookies and stuff for us. Yeah. I remember my grandfather going out there with a load of freight, 8 head of horses. I was about 3 years old. I used to go out and watch him. He'd take out of the barn, and there was a lane he went down to get out on the 48 to go up the street. We used to watch him go out of there all the time. It was really fun to watch him go. And then my Uncle Lloyd, he used to go with him, and he'd drive those horses. He was a real teamster. Uncle Lloyd was. He could sure handle horses. He was good at it. They talk about some of these truck drivers. They'd ought to see him handle 8 head of horses. He was only 9 years old. Yeah, he was quite a guy.
Did everybody in your family get along with each other real good?
Oh, Don and I used to have a scrap or two. Other than that, we was pretty good.
Your mom was a real good cook, wasn't she?
She had to be.
What was your favorite things that she would
You
cook?
couldn't live in no day there if you couldn't cook. No way in the world. You couldn't get to the grocery store all the time, and a lot of times you didn't have any money to go with anyway. So mother could make a meal out of almost nothing and feed all 9 kids. I couldn't believe it. I look back on it and it just amazed me how they could go. They were all the same too, the big family, they're all the same. They could all make a meal out practically. Of course, we raised everything. We ate over there. We had apples, and Dad would raise carrots and put them in a pit. We raised potatoes. We never had to hardly buy anything. Mother used to put up 700 quarts of fruit and vegetables. Jack Gutke and Jack would come up a lot of times and help me shred the corn off the cobs for Mother to put in bottles and snip beans. Jack would be up there messing around. When he was just a little guy, he'd hang around up there. And Mother, of course, would fix him some lunch, and he thought that was great. He'd sit there and help us snip beans. We used to snip tubs full of beans. Mother put them. She had the old coal stove, you had a boiler set along the side, and she'd put these in there and let them boil until she figured they were sealed. We had a lot of that kind of stuff. The apples, Dad used to put apples down in that cellar. We had an old cellar, dome type cellar that opened the door and then you walk down the steps into it. We stored a lot of stuff, carrots.
What was your favorite things that she used to make? Dinners or desserts?
She I think that's where your mother learned how to make pie from my mother. Oh boy, she would make some pie. And then she'd have them all the time.
What was your favorite pie?
Oh, I liked her lemon pie real good. She'd make a good rhubarb too and gooseberries. I don't know whether I had a favorite. I liked them all.
What was your favorite meal she'd cook?
Well, she was pretty good at making soup. All kinds. And I used to work on a chicken farm up here in 1938, just before I got married. And I used to take some of them big fat leghorn chicken from her. Boy, she could make that best chicken soup you ever ate in your life. Good. Oh yeah, Mom was a good cook.
How did your parents discipline you?
Well, once in a while, Dad would switch you pretty good at the club if you didn't do it. Unless you could outrun him, but no.
Did they have chores and everything for you?
Oh yeah, I used to milk the cow. Don never, he hated to milk the cow, so every once in a while I'd get stuck with that, Of course, Dad did it until we got big enough. We wasn't very big when we was doing it too. And we used to feed the pigs. And once in a while I'd have a pig killing contest in the fall. People would gather around and slaughter these pigs. And my grandfather Christensen, Mother's dad, he had a big grain bin. And then he had a little smokehouse too. He built a nice smokehouse. And he'd keep all the trimmings off the trees. And then he'd build this fire in the smokehouse and then he'd smoke these hams and bacon. Stuff like that in the smokehouse. And then when he got them smoked up good, then he'd take them out and he'd put them in this grain bin. As long as there wasn't any air getting to them, see, they'd keep a long time. He'd take them out there in the middle of summer, slice off a hunk of that ham, and Grandma Christmas cook it. Oh, you would taste it. You're like, oh man, that was good. And then of course, he raised grain, so he had to have the thrashers come to thrash the grain. And had this old steam thrasher. I can remember that thing coming up through Grandpa's road up to the house. These 4 or 5 guys, and they'd be throwing these grain bundles on it, and be chugging away and thrash all the grain. And then Grandmother fixed dinner for him, see. So me and Ralph Fryer and a few of us would hang around until all those guys left, and then Grandma gave us what was left, which was pretty good. So we'd hang around because we knew she'd feed us after these other guys got through. Oh yeah, that was a good old days. I remember that old steam thrasher coming up that road. Those kids had come from everywhere to watch that thing chew up that grain. Oh, like that a movie of that.
Did your family ever go on any vacations, or people that do that?
No, there weren't many vacations, but all. Well, when Dad got a car, we used to go on a few nice Sunday drives. He had my mother's cousin lived out in Silver City, way out the other side of Eureka. If you go around, and we used to drive down there once in a while in this old Dodge touring car he had, 1922, 22 or 23. He bought it brand new. It just had side curtains. It was his touring car. And we used to go down there. Then my Uncle Dan, he lived out in Stockton, the other side of Twilla, out the other way, out here. And we'd go out on a Sunday afternoon, ride out there and see. Well, then we took a couple of trips up Parley's. A few times went out to Camas because Dad had some cousins that lived out in Camas. So we'd go out there and see them. That's about as far. Oh, my dad and his brother, they had to go to Denver once on the railroad. I can't remember what they went over there for, but I got a picture of them sitting on the back end of the train. I can't remember what they went there for.
Did your dad work till he retired?
No, he actually didn't really retire. He just died really young, 56 or old.
And how did he pass away?
He just had a bad heart, just heart failure. He went in the hospital on Decoration Day in 1944. And he died on June the 6th, the same day the Yanks landed on the Normandy beachhead. Bud was over in Anzio in Italy.
So how old were you?
Oh, I was working for the telephone company then. He was 44, your mother would be 2 years old. And, they lived in the big house up here on 48th, and we lived right across the street. We lived right across the road. And I was working out Clearfield way at the time. And they'd taken him into the hospital. I'd been there the night before to see him, and I knew he was in pretty bad shape. He could talk to you, They had him in an oxygen tent. In those days, they just put a tent over him. Oxygen. They didn't like it, and now they put these things in your nose, I'd gone to work, and I hadn't been up there very long until the construction manager, who was Bill Sullivan, came up and told me that I'd better go back with him because my dad was going to pass away, probably. And that's when you had to drive a car 35 miles an hour. That was the World War II deal, I was going faster. Lord, I didn't think we was ever going to get there. I'd like to have been driving that old 42 Chevy. I'd have blown some carbon out of it. He wouldn't. Of course, I didn't make it that. But Grandma was there, Mother, and a couple of my cousins. And then, of course, nearly all of the family, Glenn, Carol, Beverly.
What were some of the best things you can remember that he taught you?
Well, I was always hanging around with him because he could do everything. Kind of building a box or putting up a fence or building a gate. I was always hanging around with him. Don didn't pay too much attention to me. He was roaming around more than everything. Boy, I was always with him. He was always building something, showing me how to do different things, I still got a box downstairs he built that I got for Christmas. do things with pocket knives that ordinary carpenters never figure. Yeah, he was pretty handy. Of course, he practically built that home we lived in up there. He had some help, of course, rock work and brickwork and that kind of stuff. He did nearly all the carpenter work in there. It still stands there, still up there. In fact, Glenn Taylor knew the people that lived there, and about a year ago, the man died that was there. Glenn don't know who's there now. He don't know who's living there. On that 4.25 acres we owned up there must be 15 homes. That road subdivided.
Was it hard on Grandma Carrie when he passed away?
Yeah, pretty tough. Yeah, because she, they didn't have anything. She did have just enough money to bury him. That was about it. And then see, we moved in with her right up here in this house at Florida. And we lived with her for quite a while. And then my uncle Lloyd and Aunt Ruth talked her into living with them. So that's when we lived. We went and moved down in the Sullivan's down there on 45th. And then we started building a home on all that boulevard.
Why don't you start off by telling where you were born and what day, what year?
Well, I was born there about 3 houses east of the intersection of Holiday on 48th South. In a house on the south side of the road. And I think my grandfather owned it. I'm not really sure. On October the 18th, 1914.
And then how long did you live there?
I'm not really sure when Dad bought the old Blair home up on what is now Wander Lane. It was 4.25 acres and had a little log house on it. I think it was 2 rooms and then he built a kitchen on it.
What year did you go to school? Did you start going to school first?
I started when I don't know, it put me in school when I was 5 years old. I never did forgive her for that.
And where did you go first? Do you remember?
We went to that old original school there, which is now the Olympus Junior High. It was an old school there. We went in the 1 through 9 grade. Everybody went 1 through 9 there, and then down Grand High School.
So you stayed there for your first 9 years?
Yeah.
All 9 years.
I was there all 9 years in the original school.
What was school like back then?
Oh, this building was a 3-story school building. We had quite a few teachers, or quite a few kids in the first grade. 27 or 28 of us. Second grade was about the same. One teacher taught the whole
grade. Did you meet with other grades too, or was it just one grade?
Just one grade then.
How long would you have to go to school for? What time would you have to go and what time did you get out?
I think we went at 9 o'clock in the morning and got out at 3:30.
And then what would you do with the rest of your day?
Well, when I got old enough, I used to help Dad on the farm. But younger, I guess we just fooled around, played football. We had a big lawn on the front of the house. We just played all kinds of games there. About always. When we got older, we had plenty of work to do.
And then what year did you start high school? What credit.
I had to. I never did graduate from high school, but I didn't have that good enough average. I had 74.25 and I needed 75.
You did?
Yeah.
You had to have a certain grade point to graduate back then?
75.
Yeah.
I had a bad skin disease in my senior year. What they called impetigo. What it does, it breaks out on your face. And it starts to sore, and then the sore goes spreading around like this. So they wouldn't let me go swimming. Swimming, we used to swim on the gym, for our grades. I had to sit there in the locker room, and all I had to do was just study. So the old boy gave me an F in physical education. And he was my uncle. When it come time to graduate, I went up to him and I said, hey, I can't graduate with that F on there. I can't do anything about that. Well, I couldn't go swimming. I had a good excuse not to go. I was here every day. I went home and told Dad. Why don't you go down there and talk to your brother-in-law and see if you can't get me a decent grade in that physical education class. That's all I need. I can get out of there. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't go talk. That'd been my Uncle Ollie. Dad told his brother he got down there and cleaned that place out. A lot meaner than my dad was. So consequently, I didn't get out there.
Did you like school?
Oh, I liked school pretty well. If we missed the busing, we had to walk all the way home from Grand, which is a pretty good little trip.
So what did you and your friends do for fun, like on weekends or that when you were in high school?
No, I don't know. We had cars we used to ride around in, and we always had horses. We could saddle up and go for a ride way up there on the mountain. And we used to go to church all the time. We had a good basketball team. I played in men basketball, I think, for 13 years or more. We had some pretty good teams. Hotel Walton was on there. We used to ride our horses. I had a bicycle all the time. I was always working on a bicycle. Fix that up, polishing the thing. I always had a bicycle. And then we had the old horse. And I did a lot until we get our horses together and go for a ride. We never had any saddles. We just rode bareback. We did have a bridle. We didn't have any saddles. So we just rode bareback. Way up there on the mountain, where all them big old ugly houses are. We used to hike that every Easter, almost up the top of the mountain.
Did you work all the time after high school? I mean, after you were done with each day of school, would you go to work?
And you couldn't get a job doing anything those days. All depression had you wired tight. I had a paper out. I used to make a little money up. You couldn't get a job doing anything. The older folks couldn't hardly get a job. They made $55 a month on WPA. And let them work 11 days a month for $55. We hadn't raised a lot of stuff we had up there on that 4¼ acres. I don't know. But we used to raise chickens, pigs, and then we had the cow. So we got by pretty good.
What did you do a lot of things with your family?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
did you?
we would always. Yeah, we went to church a lot. Dad had an old Model T Ford, and we used to go for some Sunday drives. And we traded that in and got a 1922 Dodge, I think it was. Touring car. That's the car I learned to drive. And we used to go for pretty good trips. He had an uncle that lived down in Silver City, the other side of Utah. We'd go down there a few Sundays to see him. And then another brother-in-law, Bruce Folthorpe's dad, lived out in Goshen, Stockton, out the other side of Twilla. We used to go down there on Sunday afternoon after church to see them. It was quite a trip in them old cars.
Yeah.
The road was rough. This was a touring car, so in the winter we just put side curtains on it. No heaters in it.
Did the people in your high school, did you date? Did people date a lot then, or did they just hang out with you?
You guys had some nice cars. They was about to really dating. We used to have Sunday school parties. Sunday school parties, but we never had any way to travel around.
What about, you used to tell us about the House of Many Smells. What was that?
Oh, we used to catch a streetcar and go up to Salt Lake to the show. It's a licensed theater. You get in for a dime. But man, the popcorn was laying on the floor, and the old rats would sneak up and down the aisle every once in a while, eating the popcorn. Then there was the old Gem Theater. The first talking picture I saw was in the old Victory Theater on 3rd South. It was an Al Jolson picture. Never forget it. Don and I lived there in Ralph Pryor.
Was it the jazz singer?
I don't remember the name of the show. But we gone up there that time. Dad drove 1923 Dodge. John drove it. We went up there in that. You could get in that theater for 30 cents.
What were some of the funnest things you did, or that you liked to do when you were a kid or when you were in high school?
Well, the funnest thing I ever did was buy me an old car and mess around with it.
How old were you when you bought that?
Oh, I was just out of high school when I got the first one. I bought it on that paper out of old Nash touring car. Well, first I think I had a Halfmobile. That was a junker. I'd get rid of that. I think I traded that in. I got this Nash. And it was a big piece of junk.
Who were some of your friends that you had when you were growing up? Their names?
Jack Dupke was a real good friend. Another friend was Shirley Nielsen. He lived just up the road from us. I used to go around with him a lot. Nielsen boys, there was 2 of them. And then Ralph Fryer, my cousin, I was always over there sleep. Of course, they lived over in Grandma Christensen's house. The Fryers lived over there for a long time. So Ralph and I, we had a tent down in the old Spring Creek Hall over there. We used to sleep out almost every night.
What kind of duties did you have around your own house? Did you all have specific chores, or?
Oh yeah, we had to milk the old cow. We had a little trouble getting Dawn to do it. Get him to do it, then it was up to me.
How did your family get along? Was everybody get along pretty good, or did you have?
Oh, we used to have a few battles. Dawn and I used to fight to the death almost sometimes.
Like just
he always won because he was bigger. Yeah, we talk about it every once in a while now. Yeah, Glenn Taylor, I could be, yeah.
So then, how old were you when you finished high school?
I was 17.
17. So what did you do when you finished high school then?
Well, Jack Dukey had this paper out. It was a Desert News route, and he went to work for the DNRG Railroad with his dad. His dad was a shop foreman, so he went there. So he gave me the paper out. So no, he went to work for a neighbor over there. He used to drive her to town. That's how that was. So he turned over the paper out to me. I did the papers for quite a while. Then he went to work for the railroad, and he turned over this job he had down there in the cottonwoods with this old maid. Her name was Guy Hills, and then I used to drive her to town. She had a 1932 Nash sedan, oh, beautiful car. And I used to chauffeur her to town every day, and then I took care of her lawn and her garden. I worked over there. Didn't make much money, but at least it was a job. Jack went to work for the railroad.
And so how long did you do that?
Oh, I don't remember exactly how long I was doing it. I finally quit her, and then we went to work for a few other people down there. Don and I went to work for the Bambergers down in the woods, and my Uncle Ferris was working there. You know, in fact, he had 2 or 3 of the guys working around the country. We was getting $1.25 a day. So we figured we was doing fairly good. We get about $7 or so a week, and we spend that all on Saturday night down at the holiday dance.
What would you do there? That's how much it cost.
Oh, it only cost 30 cents to get in, but we had generally we'd stop for a hamburger or something. We managed to spend it. But Don was smoking, so he spent all his on cigarettes. He'd be broke, and he'd be bugging me for money so he could get his sack of bull What a kid.
So when did you first meet Grandma? Do you remember how old you were?
I was really going with her friend, this Walton gal, lived right up here on 23rd East. Her name was Helen Walton. She's a cousin of Helen Walton. Her dad was brother. And I met and married through her. And then we'd been on a couple of, we went to Como Springs one time. Don and I in the car. And Don had a girl that lived down on 45th, I think. I'm not sure. But I was with this Helen Walton. And Mary was there with the, I don't know what that was. And then there was a couple other couples. Ross Webb and his wife was there, and Gene Montz and his wife. They were all good friends. All these girls was in school together. Mary and
So you met her in high school?
So no,
What was out of high school?
I didn't meet her till after that. And then on New Year's, 1938, my cousin Lenora Fryer arranged a date with her. So I went down to 6th West and picked her up, and we went to a house party. We were driving over there to Jack Dukey's. He was married then, lived over there in Hollywood, and he'd invited us over. So that's where we went. We was over there on New Year's, and then the next day, I called her and wanted to know if she wanted to go to a show uptown. So we went to a show, and we started going out together.
How long did you go out together?
Well, they didn't get married till April the 12th, 1940. So I didn't have any money. phone company. I went to work for them in 1939 on the 13th of July, which was a Thursday. And I worked from July till November. Then I bought a brand new car. Man. It cost me $937.
Mhm.
A 6-cylinder Oldsmobile, 2 doors.
So you went out with Grandma for 2 years
Yeah,
then? Before you...
whatever, about 2 years. Yeah, a little more. Used to go down to Grandma White's and do a little work for her. And Merle, in the meantime, Merle got married. Mary was the only one home. But her sisters came in once in a while. All they know that in California.
So when you guys went out, what would you mostly do? Would you kind of hang out, or would you go to a movie?
We went to movies and we just hung out.
What impressed you about Grandma? Made you decide to marry her?
I don't know, I just get along with her and fell in love with her. She was working for General Motors when we got married. Between the two of us, I think I was making $80 a month and she was making $65. We were only paying $28 for rent. We was up on Castle Hill up there.
So what day did you get married?
It was a Friday. And my dad was moving the next day from, where the heck was he? Oh, he lived on Memory Lane and he moved up on 48th to that house there. It's now a church. It's a big house there. So I helped him move the next day.
So what was your wedding day like?
Oh, we just went over here to the house where the bishop lived over here, got married, and we went uptown to the apartment, and then the next day I went and helped Dad move, married him down to her folks.
Did they have receptions or anything like that back then?
Well, we had a family party.
You did?
Or two, and then we had a couple other showers for friends. We just wanted to shower.
So what would they do? What do you mean like by showers? What
We
they do?
just go there. They give us some gifts and we had food we ate. One of them we had old new grandmother right over there on Lucas Lane.
Were both your parents pretty excited?
No, they never got excited about anything. Dad was kind of sick and didn't have much money. He lost a home right there. Lost his good home in Rosebud, and it was right there. He lost that, he didn't do much more.
So how old were you when you got married then?
I was 24.
24. And how did you get the job with the phone company?
Well, I'd been running a service station on the corner of 48th, right there with my grandfather. In fact, it was my uncle. I took it over from him. And I run it, just for maybe a year and a half. I decided it was a losing proposition, so I gave it up. And I've been out of there I gave it up on the 1st of July. And on the 12th of July that year, I was riding through town with Lynn Taylor in a car. And the guy came out of the service station. His name was Henry Florence. And he had a service station on the corner where the video store is there now. And he was right on the corner of the service station.
Video Burns?
Yeah. He ran out and stopped us and he says, the telephone company needs some guys to work in there tomorrow. And I was wondering if you boys wanted to go. He said, they got to have 6 men. And he says, I've got 4 of them lined up. And he says, if you 2 guys will go, that'll make the 6. And then said, oh, I can't go. He was a chauffeur for Dave Keith. And he was married at the time, see, so he didn't want to take a chance of quitting his job he had. Well, I can't go, and so I I said, well, I think I can get somebody to go, Henry, so you can tell. It was Bill Sullivan, and he lived up there. He was the construction superintendent, and he was a good friend of this Henry Florence. So he told Henry to see if he could pick up these 6 guys I needed. So I went home, and Bud was bumming around somewhere. I can't remember where he'd been. But he come home, and I said, you want to go in there and work with me in the morning? Yeah, he said, you bet, I'll go with you. He's just 18. I said, okay, we'll go in there in the morning. So we loaded in my car and went in. When we walked up on the dock where this old Sullivan guy was, and I knew him because I met him up there when I worked in the chicken business with this old guy. I was running his chicken farm. In fact, I was doing that when I started doing there. And I got acquainted with the Sullivan. When I walked up on there, he said, oh, you're the guy that worked for Bill Leland. I said, yeah, that's right. Well, he said, we got 10 days or 2 weeks work if you want it. Why, that's fine. I said, well, I'm not doing anything now, so I'll take her. And these other 4 guys that went from here in there was, well, 2 of them stayed with it their whole life and retired, but the other 2 quit. One of them was Glenn Taylor's cousin. He run a big farm up in Washington. He lived right over there on Cottonwood Lane where he grew up. He quit anyway. So anyway, we stayed there. Boy, the old job lasted forever.
What did you first do in the first?
Oh, he's digging trench.
Dig trenches?
Yeah, we were picking and shoveling, digging trench. In fact, we were sitting on 7th South and about 5th East in September of that year when the Germans marched on Poland.
Oh.
And there was a kid there had a radio, and we were listening to it. He had it on this news. And this kid says, boy, we're in for it now. We'll be in that before very long. This was September 39 when he marched, when the Nazis marched in there. And by golly, it was 1941, and we were in it already. Bud had already gone in, he'd already got drafted.
Why didn't you have to go?
Well, I had
You were too old, or you were married?
Well, I was married, and I was working for the telephone company, which was a vital industry. And then when they told us that we'd have to go, the rest of us that was around, the Japs were still battling. So they told us on a Friday that we'd be drafted on Monday. My cousin Roger lived over in Price at the time, and we decided we'd take a ride over to see him. So we'd gone over there for the weekend, and on our way back, as we come through American Fork, we used to come down through American Fork this way and make a turn here on the freeway over there. And as we were coming on this little stretch here, I had the radio on that said that the Japs had surrendered. It was in August.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to work the next day. The next day, this was December. And the old Bill Sullivan was still there. He said, well, any of you guys that had your notices to go can forget it. We're not going to have to send anybody else.
Were you worried about having to go?
No. I figured that was about over anyway. I didn't really see how those Japs could ever hold out after they dropped that bomb on them. These little devils are going to have to give up, which they did.
Hmm.
Well, I was a groundman for, I was a groundman until October that year. I started in July. And in October, this line crew pulled into the warehouse. And the warehouse was over here on 3rd West, on 9th South. This crew had come in from out of town. They'd been down in Preston. And this guy had fired his truck driver because he didn't show up for work. So they told me I could go on the crew. And my dad had worked for this guy one time at the telephone company. He got a temporary job. So he knew him. His name was Ken Norris. Big guy and black-headed, and his eyes was as black as a speaker there. Had me about half scared to death when he come out and talked to me. But we built the first line from Brighton over to Albert.
Oh.
First telephone line they ever had over there. And the CC boys was putting in all the poles up over the hill. And we was putting the wire on. So they could get a phone line. They were starting up the skiing over there, you know, they had that communication. And we had the line in from Park City to Brighton, so we had service in Brighton. So that was the first job I went on. I worked with him. And I worked for him for about 6 years, I guess. As a lineman. One time we was working up here in the mouth of Quarries Canyon in the subdivision up there, just down below where Terrell lives. And this supervising foreman came up there one day and says, I need a man to run the crew. So he says, I've come up here to see you, Ken, and see if you got anybody here that would like to take the job on. So Ken, he asked the top man if he wanted to go and be a foreman. Oh, I don't want nothing to do with me. I don't want nothing to do with that. So he asked the next guy down the line. This guy turned him down too. He came over to me and he said, would you like to give it a try? And I said, you bet your booty so I'll give it a try. I don't see me climbing these poles the rest of my life. I'll go down there, I'll give that a go. Well, the next day I went into the warehouse, took my truck and a couple of guys and went out running the line crew. And I run that crew around Salt Lake for a while. Of course, you're always picking up different guys, you know, they promoted